The night of the wedding had been one of glittering celebration. Averin Fort echoed with music, laughter, and the clink of goblets raised in honor of Lady Elira Trenail and her groom, Lord Marson Eldwine. Elira had been radiant, but not joyful. Those closest to her noted a quiet restraint behind her practiced smiles. Still, none suspected that by dawn, she would vanish. Her bed was untouched. Her dress, folded carefully. Her personal journal, missing. The heavy door to her chamber remained locked from the inside. No signs of forced entry. No broken glass. No blood. The only strange detail was the faint scent of pine wax near the windowsill. Whispers spread like fire. Some believed she had eloped with a lover. Others thought she had been abducted, or worse. Lord Marson's shock seemed genuine. He barked orders, demanded answers, and cursed the guard's incompetence. The local captain of the guard, Bren, ordered a full search of the fort and surrounding hills, but no tracks or riders were seen leaving in the night. By midday, word reached the capital. King Joseph, a patient and perceptive monarch, received the news with silence. His memory stirred. Elira had once served in his court, a brilliant legal aide who never missed a contradiction. Her disappearance, he believed, was no matter of cold feet or youthful rebellion. Without ceremony, the king prepared his horse and summoned his most trusted aide. Whatever had happened at Averin Fort, it was no simple case of a runaway bride. King Joseph arrived at the castle under the pretense of preserving peace between two noble houses. Lord Marson received him stiffly. The groom's eyes were shadowed, his tone subdued, and his posture that of a man unraveling. Yet Joseph saw no signs of deception, only confusion and a carefully masked fear. The king studied the facts. Elira had attended the feast, danced only once, and then vanished sometime after midnight. Marson claimed she had gone to her chambers early. She had spoken little during dinner. Her handmaid reported nothing unusual, though she noted Elira had declined her favorite wine. Still, there were details that didn't sit right. Why were no cloaks missing from her wardrobe, no packed bag, no signs of haste? If Elira had fled voluntarily, she had done so without even a change of shoes. Stranger still, the only window in her chamber was latched from within, and the walls were far too sheer for climbing. The king noted 3 contradictions in Marson's version of events, small but telling. And yet, the young lord's grief felt sincere. Joseph dismissed no possibilities. He knew better than to rely on feelings in matters of court and conspiracy. By evening, he had spoken to every guard posted the night before. Each claimed to have seen nothing, heard nothing. But one mentioned something peculiar, a veiled noblewoman seen walking alone toward the stables just before the castle doors were locked. No one had seen her return. Elira's chamber felt like a shell left behind by its occupant. Too orderly, too quiet. The bed was untouched. The window, narrow and thick with iron lattice, was firmly latched from the inside. Nothing indicated panic or force. Yet something about the room was hollow. King Joseph scanned the furniture, the floors, the mirror. On the vanity, he noticed it had been tilted slightly downward. Behind it, barely visible, was a single torn page, half hidden and almost discarded. The writing was unmistakably Elira's, sharp, exacting, and composed. What remained of the page read, "If I disappear, do not chase rumors. The truth is stitched into the lies." Cryptic, but unmistakably deliberate. The guards had concluded she must have left of her own accord. Joseph disagreed. He saw no trace of a woman in flight, no packed belongings, no farewell letter, not even a locked diary left behind. Everything had been arranged with precision, and someone had taken care to leave it that way. He ordered the guards to continue searching but to speak of nothing. No alerts. No public announcement. If Elira was gone, she had either trusted someone enough to help her vanish, or feared someone enough to erase her trail completely. Joseph left the chamber certain of one thing. She had not simply run away. Lord Marson's story remained the same. He had retired early, only to find Alira missing come morning. He repeated this with unwavering sadness. But Joseph had long ago learned that the most convincing lies were those told through grief. A closer examination of the groom's affairs revealed a man under pressure. House Eldwine had risen in power quickly. Too quickly. In recent years, Marson had acquired lands through court settlements and alliances that defied tradition. Alira, known for her sharp political mind, had once written in court documents questioning several of those same land transfers. Joseph wondered what Alira might have discovered after their engagement. Still, nothing yet proved guilt. Marson had motive, perhaps, but no opportunity. He had been surrounded by family and guests throughout the night. And despite Joseph's suspicions, the man had not attempted to flee, silence witnesses, or hide evidence. If he had something to conceal, he was either confident or innocent. The king began to consider another possibility. What if Marson had not acted alone? Or worse, what if he had been a pawn in someone else's game? The question now shifted. Not just who made Alira disappear, but why? And what, exactly, had she been about to expose? The guest list from the wedding was meticulous. Every noble house accounted for, every seat numbered. Yet one name stood out. Lady Sirene of Wintmere had arrived late and left early. Her presence was unremarked upon by nearly all, as if she had walked through the celebration unnoticed. Joseph searched the archives. There was no Sirene of Wintmere. The title hadn't existed for decades. Whoever she was, she had used a false identity. Witnesses could offer little. A few recalled a veiled woman in grey, always alone, who kept to the edges of the feast. No one had seen her face clearly, and no one had seen her leave. Joseph was convinced she had something to do with Alira's disappearance. Whether a conspirator or a smuggler, her presence was no accident. He ordered Sir Valen to investigate all carriages that departed that night. Most were already tracked. But one, unregistered, unsearched, had exited before dawn with a single passenger. A faceless guest. A locked room. A missing bride. The king tightened the circle of suspicion. Someone within the castle had orchestrated more than just a vanishing act. In a small prayer room off the east wing, Joseph found the faint remains of a candle, burnt low, fragrant with pine and sage. The scent lingered in the stone even after the wax had melted to nothing. It was distinctive. Few used such waxes, and Joseph recognized the blend. Only the monks of St. Rieland's monastery in the northern cliffs produced those ceremonial candles. A quiet sanctuary known for harboring noblewomen in need of refuge. Alira had spoken of the place once, praising its peace. The scent in her chamber had matched this precisely. Still, Joseph gave no order. If she had gone there, she had left him no invitation. No proof. Only whispers of pine and paper trails. Instead, he waited. Someone had worked hard to erase her steps, but perhaps they had missed one. From the royal archives, Joseph requested Alira's last submitted court journal. It contained records, personal reflections, and observations on legal disputes. In its final pages, a single entry stood out, written just weeks before her wedding. It mentioned sealed documents, land transfers bearing 3 noble seals, and forged names. Alira had identified inconsistencies and had planned to bring them forward, unless she was silenced first. Her final note in the journal read, "If I vanish, someone close will benefit." Joseph stared at the words, cold with realization. Alira had known she was walking into danger, and she had kept going. To force movement, Joseph planted a lie, a rumor that Alira had been seen in a nearby village. The bait worked. That same night, someone slipped into the archives and attempted to destroy Alira's records. It wasn't Marson. It was Captain Bren. Under quiet interrogation, Bren confessed, not to violence, but to loyalty. Alira had come to him days before the wedding. She had discovered that her own father, Lord Trenail, had participated in forged land grants, using her marriage as a way to silence her. She had asked Bren for help disappearing. In return, she made him swear to protect the truth, even if it meant burning the trail. She had left that night, cloaked and veiled, aided by a false identity and the stable boy, her childhood friend. The monastery had hidden her ever since. Joseph rode north in secret, and found her at St. Relan's, cloaked in the quiet life of a novice. She was thinner, quieter, but alive. With careful diplomacy, Joseph brought her home. Her father was stripped of his seat. The forged lands were reclaimed. Marson, though not guilty of her disappearance, was complicit in silence, and lost his title. Alira, by her own wish, did not return to court. But her testimony unraveled a web of corruption spanning 3 houses. And the pawn she left behind, her journal page tucked in Joseph's coat, remained a quiet warning. The truth she had written was always hiding in plain sight.